Suppose she told you she killed him and you believed it.
First she said she had killed him, and then she said she hadn't.
You didn't answer the second part.
She indicated you have certain evidence.
Okay. Come in here. The DA's got the original sample, but pictures should give you a rough idea.
Oh, what's that?
Piece of a dress that was found under the bed. They matched it to the dress she burned, more or less.
What's that plaster thing?
Cast of tire marks. Did you read Dick Tracy?
Oh, I've used plaster casts of tire marks myself in my books. But, they look a little vague.
They are.
You know something, Lieutenant? I'm inclined to agree with you.
About what?
About the girl. I think she is innocent.
Oh, so you can write it from the whodunit angle, huh?
Less asperity, Lieutenant, if you please, and a little more attention to detail. By the way, why is everyone so anxious to believe this particular girl did it?
Because they think they can make it stick. Why look further? Because it's good for them. They make their reputations that way, just like your boss makes circulation.
Let's face it. You and I know what Dr. Winter was like. There must be a dozen girls in this town who have just as much reason for killing him as this one.
What I said.
As for the confession, she's obviously an hysteric. Any good alienist could break that down.
Oh, I said that, too.
And as for this stuff, I don't know much about tires, but this dress pattern is as common as a cotton handkerchief. There must be 50 of them within a mile of where we're standing right now.
Same goes for the tires. I've told them all that.
Then there must be something wrong with your methods, Lieutenant. Now, what do we deduce from all this?
I'll tell you what I deduce.
What?
As a woman who's killed a man in this town, a murderess. A murderess that's still on the loose.
At first, I was quite excited about the whole thing, about covering a murder case, I mean. It was good for me. It took my mind off myself. The book I should have been finishing and couldn't. And poor Ned, being drowned last summer, that had been more of a strain than I even realized. I knew that now. Not that I was terribly fond of Ned, but we had been as close as we ever were. Not just as close, perhaps, but it had been a shock. That's why I'd been going to Dr. Winter myself. He'd as much as told me that the spells I had were a direct result of what happened to Ned. Oh, it shows you how tiny and yet how strange our little world can be. Here I was writing up the case of Dr. Winter's murder for the newspapers. Of course, right away I discovered that the evidence against the girl they were holding was all circumstantial. And Lieutenant Hahn got me prints of the pictures, the piece from the dress they said she was wearing, and the tire marks. And I went out to do a little checking of my own. First I went to Gorman's department store. Actually, it's the only real store for women's things in town.
Well, Miss Carlyle. Long time no see, eh? What can I do for you?
I was wondering if you could identify a dress for me, a certain dress.
A dress? Why, sure. What kind of a dress do you have in mind?
No, I don't want to buy one. I just want to find out about one. A particular dress. This dress. That this picture was taken of. That's only a piece of it, of course.
Oh. That.
Yes, you've sold quite a few of them, haven't you?
Uh-huh. Say, I hear you're going to write up this winter case for the papers. That right, Miss Carlyle?
Yes. Why, yes, I am. As a matter of fact, this dress...
Oh, I know this dress, all right. We had them last spring. Sold like hotcakes, 4 dozen of them.
Did you keep any records of whom you sold them to? Can I get a list?
No. No complete record. Mostly cash sales, you know. Made up a partial list. That's all, a partial list.
Well, that's what I want. That's better than nothing.
Going into competition with the police department now, eh?
No, I'm trying to help them, Mr. Gorman. If you give me...
You'd better see them about that yourself, then. Lieutenant Hahn. Gave him the list 3 weeks ago. You'd better see him.
Oh, I didn't know he had one. He never told me.
Cops don't always tell everything they know, eh? You go see Lieutenant Hahn. He's the man you are to see, Lieutenant Hahn.
I felt a little silly. Why hadn't he told me? But then, of course, I'd never asked him. My next stop was Morton's big service station on the corner of North and Main. They did practically all the tire business in town.
How do, Miss Carlyle? Fill it up?
Why, yes, I guess so. But I want to ask you something.
Sure, Miss Carlyle. What is it?
Well, You see this thing?
Huh?
It's the imprint of an auto tire, and I wondered...
Oh, from the winter case, huh? The cops was already in here. I heard you was working on the case,
In
Miss
a
Carlisle.
way. And I was trying to find out about this tire. I mean...
Well, that tire, ma'am, that's a 616 Goodstone. Pretty new, too. You can see from this middle tread here. I don't see how anybody could prove much by this here.
Do you sell many of these? What did you call them?
616 Goodstone. Oh, yeah, plenty. That's what I mean. I don't see how you could prove much with that there tire. You find them on all kind of cars.
I know, but...
Well, look here. You got them on your own car, Miss Carlisle. Same kind, 616 Goodstone. Almost new, too. You see what I mean?
Oh, yes. I see.
Yeah, plenty of them kind of tires around. You want that tank of gas now, Miss Carlisle?
No, thank you. Never mind. It's funny how you never notice things like tires if you're a woman anyway. Ned had always handled things like that, and then afterwards Cora had done it. Cora. And of course, as the boy had said, there were hundreds of tires like it. Hundreds. Cora wasn't home yet, and I wandered around the house and tried to think, but I didn't get very far. I was afraid of one of my headaches was coming on. I decided to try and write my first article. But when I sat down at the typewriter, I remembered I hadn't put the cover over it last time, and, it was all dusty. I went to the broom closet and rummaged around in the basket we kept there for old rags. I just started to dust off the typewriter when I noticed it. The rag I held in my hand. It wasn't just an ordinary rag. It was a piece of dress. And it wasn't just an ordinary dress. It had a cute little red and white print pattern. The kind of the dress the police said was worn by the woman who had murdered Mr. and Dr. Winter.